Welcome back to Horse Racing Today. Yours truly, and to my left on the screen, but to my right in the real world is Terry Hollywood Hay for our second day at Saratoga today on Terrific Terry Thursday. And speaking of terrific, there was a 3-horse in the 8th race yesterday. That was a terrific pick from Terry for his bet of the day. Paid what, $11, and you had it 14 times, something like 7 times, right?
Yeah, 7 times. So
not bad.
Well, actually, no. I think I bet it.
Well, you bet $14 on it, so 7 times.
Yeah. I thought I bet it $24 on it.
No, because you had an exact.
Oh, I did. I had an exact of that. But what also was interesting was if I had a bigger budget in that first pick 4, and if anybody included my long shot in that third race, they would have used my pick 4, included the long shot. They would have hit a $1,500 pick 4.
Yes, indeed. Well, that long shot, that 6-horse did pay off. It was also, there was 2 of those 30 plus 2 horses in there, and that was one of the 2. And, you got to keep kind of sharpening the saw, like Stephen Covey says in his books, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful or Effective People. And one of the things you got to keep doing in this business is continuing to look. And, I write down notes every day, mental notes, as well as on my notepad. They say you got to write stuff down, though, to remember it. So that's something I'm working on as a personal development like thing. But in any case, I know something we've written down today for sure. Our free picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet today up in Minnesota. You have the Canterbury Park is the free track of the day. 8 races. Snow Flurry. Well, that's a heck of a name for a horse in the middle of the summer, but they certainly get plenty of snow up in Minnesota. That is a post-time best bet, according to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description below. There's also a link in the description below for horseracingtoday.net. You'll see there, Saratoga Picks live stream. That's yesterday's copy of all of our notes, as well as a replay of the race show. Go over there and catch all of that if you'd like. And then while you're there, head on over to the HRT Gear Shop. Buy yourself a lucky number 13 or a baby blue to go with those baby blue eyes like Terry has. Number 3. What do you say, Terry?
I say, yeah, you should do it. I really like the stuff.
It's pretty good. Yeah. That sounds like it should be a beginning of like a song or something. I say, yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to, one of these days, I'm going to work on the beginning of our show, and I'm going to go find clips of some of things that we said. Yeah. I say, yeah, is going to be right in the top of the opening of the show there.
All right.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the opening race then, Mr. Terry, and that is El Numero Uno.
Yep, it's a 6.5 furlong race. It's a maiden $90,000 purse for maidens 2-year-olds, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
Yes, and at 6.5 furlongs. Typical winner to score that W has tactical speed. Of the dozen races that they've had so far, 4 of them, or if my math serves me correctly, 1 out of 3, 33%, have gone wire to wire. Post position wise, the inside 3 in those 12 races, I put down stink. So a little bit of a work to overcome from a post position standpoint. 4 through 7, they play the best. 8 and out's a little bit of a bonus. Ordinarily, we have a 10,000 simulations to talk about here, Terry. We don't have any. Mostly first-time starters in here, so we only have picks. So what did you pick?
All right. Well, I started out with that number 3 horse, Man of Mischief. He ran second versus similar in his only start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like the 5 Manhattan Twist. He's a first-time starter whose dam has 6 winners from 8 starters, and he has a high percentage winner, winning trainer and jockey. Then keeping it real,
baby. That's what the kids say. Yeah. I'm keeping it real.
He's a first-time starter also, and his dam has 1 winner from 1 starter, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Number 1, Aussie. He is a first-time starter. He has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. He's my long shot. We have a $100 budget each day, and we bet $2 to win on our first choice, a $1 exacta box on our first 2 choices, a 50-cent trifecta box on our first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box on our first 4 choices, which is $8.40. There's 10 races today, so we have $16 left over to use.
Finally, some easy math, right? 10 times 8.4. I'm going to start with Man of Mischief as well. That could be Ozzy, right? The Man of Mischief, for sure. Looking at the Man of Mischief, Terry, he has the ability, if he has second race improvement, like many other horses do, in the second career start. And if that speed number pops up enough, it would be borderline low non-graded stakes level stuff, like $100,000 stuff, or maybe even borderline grade 3, and only the second start. So if that horse improves a lot, wouldn't be shocked to see it really rise up the ladder next time out. Number 9, keeping it real, baby. I'm going to keep it real. July 14th, back bullet at Saratoga, where the horse ran 4 furlongs in 47 and 2. You know what that is, Terry?
Yeah, it's fast.
That's fast, baby, and also shows talent. The 5 horse, Manhattan Twist, puts a check mark in all of the categories I'm looking for. Trainer does well at the first-time starters. The breeding is there, and the workouts are pretty solid. Not as good as the 9, but close enough. And then finally, I'm going to go with Rockstar Rebel, which is another. I mean, there's 3 people in here that could be Ozzy. Man of Mischief, Ozzy, and Rockstar Rebel. But jockey Dylan Davis seems to hit a long shot every single day. Well, this makes the most sense for long shots because a bunch of 2-year-olds where anything could happen. And, of course, that would make Dave Portnoy over at Barstool Sports, who has Dylan Davis wearing his pants, the Barstool pants in the on the horses. Remember we were doing that before with Horse Racing Radar TV, Terry?
Yeah.
Absolutely just stealing our ideas, brother. Race number 2 is what we're going to do next.
Yeah, we sure are. And this race here is a 5.5 furlong race on the turf. It's a $32,000 claiming race with a purse of $65,000, and it's for 4-year-olds and upward.
And we have about 2 minutes, so let's go really fast. 5.5 furlongs on that turf course. Speed does well, but stalkers probably do the best. Still about 1 out of 4 win wire to wire. There's a real bonus. 2 through 7 play below par. 8 and out. That's where the best place to be is. We talked about our simulations here. You see 10,000 times to calculate who has the best chance to get on the lead based upon our speed projections or pace projections, which horses will be running races dab smack in the middle of their comfort zones. A little bit of value too. So horses that have post-time odds that are higher than our simulation odds. And then we do a par plus score as well. 1,680 times. Chessmaster ran a speed figure of at least 89 in our 10,000 simulations. That is the average winning speed figure, according to Brisnet. And then Q30. We're looking for a score higher to 30, but we also wanted to match up with these horses with some early speed. That was a lot of explanation. Go fast on what you see.
Yeah. Well, we have 3 horses in there with similar speed, the 7, 2, and 5. So it's anyone's guess who gets that quarter pole first. And that 4 has an overlay from almost 10 to 1 to 20 to 1. The 5 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 10 to 1. I think that's the only really overlays I see there. 7, 5, 2, 4 have par plus numbers, and all but 1 have a C zone.
Yeah, and the strongest combination of Q30 and speed belongs to the 5. Race shape, we also see how horses like to lay out on the track when the race gets going. 3 horse and 2 horse want to be forward. They can both be forward at 2X. These folks want to pressure, and these folks usually want to be in the back, although the PCs are pretty much all over the place. According to early pace, 3-0, the 5 is a little bit quicker than everybody else out of the gates. At the end of the race, if closers are your thing, 2B, he's got it. He's definitely got the most late speed. Our top total pace horse, we got 4 green ones, Terry, 5 points clear of everybody else. The 3, the 4, the 7, and the 5, 72% of the time the winner comes from that group. Who are your winners?
I like the 3 as my top choice. He won his last race at Saratoga, and he has a high percentage winner. Trainer wins 22% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse. And I like 2X High Front. My second choice ran 7th in his last race as a favorite, but he has a high percentage, or has a trainer wins 27% of the races when bringing the beaten favorite back again, drops in class, has a high percentage winning jockey. Chessmaster, the 7th, my third pick, has won 2 out of the last 4 races, drops in class today, and has a highest speed figure at today's distance, and has a high percentage winning jockey. And then 5-3-0 is my long shot, finished in the money in 9 out of 10 starts, so he's competitive, winning 1 of the starts, and he has a very high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4, 2X with 3, with 5, 7, and 10, single to 1A, entry, and then I'm going to go 2, 5, 6, 7, and then finish up with 1, 3, 6, 7, and 8, $50 cost.
I'm going to go real quick. Rhythmic Mike, consistent performer, much faster, early last out. Chess Master, the 7, lowest revel in the last 10 races, and no stranger to the winner's circle, especially at the distance. 3-0, much better early pace and fractions in its last. A pair of maintenance workouts to increase that late race stamina. And then you got a whole bunch of 2s, 3 of them. One of them has to do something in this race, I would suspect. Race number 1, about to get going. I'll come back, and they are going, to my pick 4 in just a moment there. So right now you have the 5-horse Manhattan Twist and the 3-horse. Those 2 are up on the front. The 9-horse tracking in third for these horses making a debut. The bunch of them are all pretty much tightly in there. It looks like the 9-horse is going to have to get on its horse if it wants to get up in there. The 1-horse down on the rail making a move. The 6-horse coming in between horses in there. That one's making a pretty tough run of it. 5-horse right now, it looks like it's gotten the better of the 3 to date. The 3 was your 6-5 favorite. They're coming around the corner, though. That 9-horse is putting in a pretty dogged effort in there. He's running pretty wide around the track all the way around. The 5-horse continues to set the tone. The 6-horse is going to get a gap on the rail there. Might be able to take advantage of it and run up and by everybody. To the outside is still the 3-horse. The 9-horse has gone like 40 miles wide on the track. Can't quite figure out what it wants to do. The first time starting 5 crossing paths with the 3-horse. Looks like the 9-horse is moving really well late, but it looks like the jockey couldn't get him to switch leads to the end. It's going to go 5, then 3, then 9, then 6. 5, 3, 9, and 6 to start the day at Saratoga. So you got the 3 favorites up top, and then the 6-horse. It turned out to be the 4th favorite in there. So that's that, folks, for the opener. As always with these 2-year-olds, you just never know what you're going to get, right?
You sure don't.
So my pick 4 in race number 2, I'm going to go 3, 4, 3, 5, 7. I'm just going to what I decided to do here is I'm just going to really take a shot against beating. I expect the 3 horses in race number 2, all 2s, to be the favorite in there, to be favorites. I also expect the 1A to be a 1-9 favorite, probably in race number 3. We'll talk about in a minute. So I just tossed them out. And then 2, 5, 6, 3, 6, 7. I'm going to try to beat those 2 early heavy favorites and see if maybe we can get something big on the back end. So just be forewarned. All right, race number 3, Terry, where I think we will see a really heavy favorite. What are they racing for here?
Okay, in this race number 3, they're going to go at a mile, and it's going to be a maiden $100,000 purse, and it's for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
And at 1 mile on the main track with that chute down through here, Terry, right? You see that's got to impact the race in some respects. And what it's done so far is favored stalkers, but 30% still go wire to wire. The horse on the rail does get an edge with that ability to get to that turn first. 2 and 3, they get squeezed because a lot of those horses from the outside want to run by, get positioned into that turn. 4 through 7 get a bonus. 8 and out so far, nobody has won. There's some early speed. Getting to that turn is useful. It looks like one horse is going to get out there without a problem.
That's right. That 1A horse, Upstanding, he's got plenty of speed, so he should get there with no problem. The 3 has an overlay from 4-1 to 8-1. The 1A and 3 have par plus numbers, and all but the 1A have C zones.
Well, if we look at the race shape here, we see the 1A going to blast out to the front there, though it could be very competitive. All of them, it looks like, according to the Q score, want to get to the front. You've got to be careful that you don't burn. As we take a look at the early pace, most of these horses, none of them have really been tone setters. They've been really more co-pilots. 4, 5, and 7 want to close. Get to the front, you usually have a chance. Upstanding is about a length faster than everybody else on here, although Suando, Bourbon's Fault, they could keep that horse to task early on. At the end, Prairie Dunes is the fastest, about a length quicker than everybody else, and except for Upstanding, that one should be in the mix. And then finally, our top total pace. You do get a 5-point advantage. You also see the 1 in there. So very likely the 1A combination is going to be heavily, heavily bet. The morning line maker, David Aragona, set the morning line at 2-5 for the 1 and 1A. Terry, who are your picks?
Well, I like the 1A upstanding. I can't see where it's going to get beat. So he finished third versus similar in his only start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 4 Prairie Dunes, second choice, he finished third versus similar in his last race. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starter. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. The 2 is my third choice, finished third versus similar on the turf in his last race. The rail post winning at a 20% clip and returning to dirt should help. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 6, Ignite the Light. My long shot, he ran 5th in his last race as the favorite, but he has a trainer who wins 25% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And no additional bets for me. And by the way, they're actually looking at that first race at Saratoga. It's a steward's inquiry between the 3 and the 5, I think.
Yeah, not going to get it. They didn't. He cleared the horse there. Didn't impede him at all. I mean, if I'm a steward, I'm not disqualifying him. I think the 1A, 1 combination is going to be 1 to 9. Very difficult to bet. That's why I completely tossed it out of my pick 4 in there. So I still think it's probably your winner, Terry. The horse has to do not much off of its debut to go ahead and win. Prairie Dunes, the 4 horse, is my second selection in here. Aside from the 1A, has come the closest to running a par level score for this level. The 5 horse, Bourbon's Fault. Terry knows about that. The July 27th workout, 5 furlongs at Saratoga, hints that he might actually like this track. And then finally, Fatouche. Can you do the Fandango? July 27th work, Terry, 4 furlongs and 47 and 3 says what?
Fast.
He's fast, yes, and maybe he likes to track as well. Again, I did a pick 4 with the 4, 5, and 7. I tossed out the 1A. Do so at your own peril. 4th race, maybe follow our advice at your own peril for that one too, Terry.
Yep.
But nonetheless, what are they running for?
It's a 1 mile race, $20,000 claiming race, purse $50,000 for 4-year-olds and upward.
And 1 mile, we just talked about that a couple seconds ago. You do find that funky turn in there. That does favor horses that can get forward, get to that turn in a hurry. Does give the 1, a rail horse, a little bit of an edge. 2 and 3, get squeezed going around that turn. 4 through 7, do the squeezing because that's one of the best places to be. 8 and out, nobody's won. And Terry, inside speed or some speed to get to that post, that turn is important. And except for he's got this, all of the other ones might actually have it, the lead.
Yeah. All but the 7 does, but the 2, 4, 5 have the most speed. So it's another anyone guess who's going to get that quarter pole first. That 4 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 6 to 1, and the 6 has an overlay from 7 to 2 to 4 to 1. None of them show par plus numbers, and all of them have some kind of C zones, although that 7 is pretty darn low.
Is this 5 horse like a My Racehorse horse or something? There are so many people in the winner's circle for that horse.
It could be. It could be.
Or is it like a milestone win for the jockey or something? Let's see.
And you were right. They didn't disqualify it. So
yeah, I didn't think they were going to disqualify him. Let's see. Jose Ortiz. Maybe it's a milestone win for him or Todd Pletcher because there were so many people in the winner's circle.
Could be
tough to tell. Our race shape for race number 4 to get a hint of who wants to be where. Again, really no horse that's lead dependent. The 5 horse. Ministerial, that one could be on the lead or a co-pilot. The 4 and 6 prefer to co-pilot. Here you got a dangerous horse. The 2 horse Classic Mark being the lone PC type. If all these other guys run a little bit too quick or too slow, he can really dictate where he wants to be on the track. Early on at the start, does look like Classic Mark. Doesn't need the lead, but absolutely might have the lead today. The end of the race, all about the money. That one will be all about the late speed. Well, quicker than everybody else. And then finally, your top total pace horses. You got 2 of them here, the 5 and the 6, which are about 3/4 of a length better than the 1, 4, and 2. It looks like the only one that doesn't have this is he's got this. Terry, who do you got?
Well, I like the 5 Minstrel. He has a high percentage when trainer wins 39% of the claiming races he has a horse competing in. And can improve at the shorter distance. He has a high percentage winning jockey. The 2 Classic Mark, second choice. He has won one race out of 2 starts at today's distance at Saratoga, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. All About the Money, the 6 is my third choice, finished second versus similar in his only start, has a high percentage, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with another horse. And he has a high percentage winning trainer. He's got this. The 7's my long shot. He's got a high percentage winning trainer who wins 34% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes, and his best start speed is close to the average winning speed. No additional bets for me here.
I will start off this race with the 5 horse. It's my top choice in race number 4. I'm sorry, the 2 horse. I'm looking at your picks. It is that lone PC that we talked about in the pace setup. The speed numbers continue to improve, and the horse is making the 3rd start after a layoff. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a peak performance out of Classic Mark today. All About the Money does have more than a length late speed advantage over the rest of the field. All of the race internals last time were improved from start to finish. I think you could see more coming in the 2nd start off the sidelines. Ministerial, the 5 horse, that one gets the 3rd call. Some of his best workouts that have been published, prepping, getting ready for today. The start of this race will be everything, because when this horse does its best, it's near the front. And today, you can see from our simulations as well as our pace numbers, 5 horse has an excellent shot to be involved early today. And then the Riders goes, the 4 horse is my final choice, the most consistent performer in this race. The lone workout at Saratoga suggests he might take to the new course today. Off to race 5 we go.
That's right. And race 5 is a 6 furlongs maiden $90,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, pulled in New York State and approved by the New York State Bred Registry.
And let's see what we got here. Raphael, how are you today? Let's translate that to English and see what that has to say. It says, who won the first one in Saratoga? It went 5, 3, 9, and 6 in that order. They were the 3 favorites, and the exacta paid, what did the exacta pay here? So race 1, today, the 5-3 exacta paid $5.40. The 5-3-9 try for 50 cents paid $52, $5.25. And if you had the 10-cent superfecta, your $2.40 turned into $2.92. So it looks like the best place to have put your money might have been the exacta. More than doubled it on the way we structure our bets.
That's right. It's 100%.
Mm-hmm. So for me, in race number 4, we went through that. So we're going to go off to race number 5. We talked about the conditions. Let's talk about who wins a 6 furlong race. Early speed, this is the most prominent race distance where early speed is the most dominant. 36% of the time, gate to wire is the winning style. Big time rail bonus for Sorority Prank. So if Sorority Prank's got some wheels, might be able to take advantage of both biases. 2 through 7 play under par, but 8 and out is the best. So give me some speed on the inside, or give me a Buffalo Girl on the outside. Terry, where is the speed?
Well, the speeds, actually, there's 3 of them that's got pretty good speed, 3 or 4 of them. And it's 7, 8, 3, and 4. So it's another anyone's guess who's going to get there. The 2 has an overlay from almost about 13.5 to 20 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 3 to 1. The 7 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 7 to 2. The 7 has the only par plus number, and all but the 2 have C zones.
So here we have the first indication today where the 7 horse Call Bob could call the lead today. Should be, I mean, we're looking for a C-zone score of 50 above, but doesn't really look like anybody except me, of course, Big Rich. And I didn't put that one in my pick, so I'll probably regret that one. But it also has that 30 score of more than 30. So again, in the book by James Quinn, the complete handicapper, says anytime they score 30 or above, you can bet them blindly, because over the course of time, they turn in a positive ROI, although it didn't work for me on that 3 horse to close it yesterday. Let's see, does the 7 get the lead here, Terry? It and the 3 want to get to the lead. It and the 3 should have a shot to get to the lead. It looks like Call Bob is the quickest, although he has it all, and very stormy to its outside. So 3 that are about a length faster than everybody else. Midnight Legend, the 2 horse, going to give it a go for the first time. The 5 and 6, at least to date, have not been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. Usually speed does win these type of races, especially if you have some late legs. Looks like Concord Spirit's got a little bit of late juice. That one's 2 lengths faster than everybody else down the stretch, and really only about a length or so off the lead. Look out for that one, especially late. Our top total pace horse is Concord Spirit. He has it all. Very stormy. Call Bob. Those are your top 4. We don't know what the 2 is going to do, Terry, but tell us what you think they'll do.
Well, I like the 8, Very Stormy. He finished second versus similar in his last start, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then the 6 is my second choice, Conquered Spirit. Finished third in his only start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 7, Call Bob's my third choice. He ran second versus similar in his last race. He has the highest last race speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Then the 1, Sorority Prank, is my long shot. He ran second versus similar in his last race, and the rail is winning at a 25% clip. No additional bets for me here.
I will start with Call Bob. I think not a bad idea, but you have, again, all of these numbers here, the Lone Par Plus, the plus 30. So we'll bet him blindly with $2 to win on that 7 horse. Next up for me is the 6 horse, Concord Spirit. Upper end of the typical second race improvement puts him right there. And Call Bob, too, is the only horse in the race so far with a passing par speed score in any of the races so far. 3, He Has It All, is our simulation favorite and also has some giddy up and go at the beginning of the race. Then finally, Midnight Legend, the 2 horse, the longest shot on the board, the first timer, Terry, and he gets this spot because a lot of these other horses have had a couple of chances, if not plenty of chances, to win or to race, and really none of them have shown the ability to get to the level necessary to win at this level. So far, Midnight Legend hasn't shown us he can't do it. Certainly hasn't shown us he can, but the other ones have answered that question.
That's right.
Race number 6, another one of these races, Terry, where you see no data. That can only mean one thing, and what is that?
It's maidens again. It's a 1/16 in the inner turf, $100,000 purse, and it's for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds.
And 2-year-olds mean anything can go. So far, who's gone to the winner's circle at 1.16 miles? On that inner track, it does favor closers, Terry, but 3 out of 19 still have managed to go. Gate to wire, despite the long distance. There is a rail bonus, so Trading Secrets could get a little bit of a better trip than the 15-1 odds might indicate. Post 2 and 3, man, Terry, they just get absolutely hammered. So be careful about those 2. 4 through 7, they're fair. 8 and out gets a bonus as well, but still the rail is the best place to be. You got a small chance to go wire to wire. It doesn't really matter, Terry. Who's your winner?
Well, for me in this race, I like number 9, Dr. Glick. She is a first-time starter whose breeding suggests she will like the grass, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. And I like 10, Wonderland, first-time starter again. Breeding suggests she'll like the grass, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then Never Really Know is the 2, my third choice, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, and she has the highest last speed rating. And then number 1, Trading Secrets, my long shot. Her dam has 2 winners from 4 starters, and she should improve at the longer distance. Has a bullet workout on August 5th. No additional bets for me here.
The 9 horse, it is a Chad Brown, first-time starter. Does have a strong back bullet work, and what I mean by that is, we talk about this before. I have this theory that trainers they run out and say, okay, show me what we got with one of the jockeys on training day, and you see right here, 47 and 4. That's pretty fast, breezing from the gate. 6th fastest of 147. I think Dr. Glick has some ability, and Chad Brown recognizes that. Chad Brown, of course, one of the top, if not the top, East Coast trainer. Number 10, Wonderland. It got the same exact 2.7 out of 3 stars that I give horses for the first start. Does have better breeding than the 9 horse, but the 9 horse has better workouts. Number 5, She Got Will is my third selection. This one has really strong breeding as well, solid workouts as well. The trainer does fairly well too on first timers. And then finally, the 2 horse, Never Really Know. This was a horse that does have some experience and really just missed the par score last time out. So it just has to improve this much to have the ability to win at this level. It'll put it absolutely deep into par territory. So race 7, Terry, and a 10 race card starts the late pick 4. What's the well, this is a stakes race.
It's a stakes race. Yes, it's a mile and 16th on the turf. It's a purse of $125,000 for 3-year-olds, foaled in New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
Yes, running in honor of Rick Violette. A mile and a 16th on the grass, and it looks like a beautiful day out there in New York. Closers win. 1 out of 15 horses so far has managed to go wire to wire, so probably not the best place to be on the lead, I would suspect. There is an outside to inside bias, so the farther you are from the rail, typically the better your chances are to win. And so far, the inside 3 have underperformed. So, Terry, speed can be helpful just for positioning, but really closing is probably better. It does look like there's one horse that they'll all have to catch at some point.
Yeah, that's that 4, but the 3 and 2 also have some speed, so it's really whoever gets the best break and that'll get to that quarter pole. And that 2 has an overlay from almost 4-1 to 9-2, and the 8 has an overlay from about 2-5 to 7-2. All but the 3 and 7 have par plus, and look at that 6 and that 8, 100%. And then all but 3 have C zones.
Nothing is 100% except for the par plus. That means when we did 10,000 simulations, every single time that we did those simulations, Russian Realm in Elysian Meadow, they ran a speed figure of at least 83. That's pretty impressive in there. All right, Terry, let's see how they're going to shape up as the race gets going. Most of this race is middle back, so maybe if you can run reasonable early fractions, you might be able to run against the anti-speed bias. The 3 horses that do have the most early speed, pretty, yeah, I mean, they're just going to kind of tick their way down. They could run single file with Courtly Banker setting the tone early on, although Instamatic to its inside, that's a closer with some early speed. We call those left arrow horses around here. Won't forget how to close and will be well positioned for the win. Russian Realm will be running very hard at the end, but looks like it can be way off the pack by itself at the start. As for our top total pace horse, it is Elysian Meadows, followed by Instamatic. Those 2 are 5 points clear or a length better than everybody else, according to top total pace. Our friend Chris Parmalu would love these 2 horses. Terry, what about you?
I like the 3-horse Instamatic. He won his 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick, and he likes the turf, finishing in the money 80% of the races on the turf, winning 40% of the starts. And then I like the 2 Phi Delight Kayat. I don't know. Anyway, he finished 3rd in his last race, and he has a high percentage win jockey. The 4, Courtly Banker, is my 3rd choice. He ran 2nd in his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning jockey. And then the 6, Russian Realm, my long shot. He ran 2nd in his last race. He switches to a high percentage winning jockey. Has a good workout on August 5th at 4 furlongs. I'm going to play the 2nd and last pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. I'm going to single the 3, and then I'm going to use the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11, and 12, and then I'm going to finish up with the 4, 6, 9, and 10. It's a $50 cost.
Do you have an alternative? Because I think that 12 horse in that last race, in that race number 9,
Yeah,
it is empty. I think it is a main track only entrant.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and I don't think they've just scratched it yet. That's all.
All right.
Do you have one to put in there in its place just in case?
I'll have to look quick.
Yeah, the 12 is an MTO, so I don't think it's going to run. Just like yesterday, remember we had that MTO that got scratched. There's a couple of them because I think in the last race there's actually 2 of them.
Yeah, they scratched it pretty late yesterday, so they may do the same thing today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. It's an all only. So probably, let me see what I have.
Well, while you figure that out, I'll tell you why I think Elysian Meadows is paradise for bettors today. And that's because that horse, if he just repeats any of his last 2 races, they were good enough. And last time out, we mentioned closers do really well at this condition and this track and surface and distance. And this one showed elite late speed in his last race. So any repeat of that elite late speed, then Elysian Meadows would be very difficult to hold off at the end. All right, Fidel Aiti Kayut, something like that, showed much better early speed in his last race and won his only race that he ran at $1.16 with ease. Russian Realm, the 6-horse, the third pick for me, maybe the most upside in the race with only 3 on his resume to date. And then finally, Courtly Banker, the 4-horse, is my final choice in here. Has not won yet. This one also hasn't missed the board, though, in 4 races, 2 seconds and 2 thirds. So probably one that's more likely to fill up the exacta or trifecta box or the superfecta box. But a lot of times those what I call Tom horses, Tom, who I do Foreign Fridays with, no idea what we're going to do tomorrow if we're doing anything. If we are going to do anything, Terry, where will people find out about it?
Well, you have to subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the little bell and go down and copy that link and share it with all your friends, relatives, neighbors, everybody you know, so they can come and check us out. And then go to our Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, and TikTok at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like, and that would help us out quite a bit. Also, if you give us talk to us online here when we're on our show with the pics and comments, that also helps us out.
Yeah, any interactivity is a wonderful way to help boost our algorithmic scores for all the tech giants, Google, YouTube, Facebook, all of the above. Although we got penalty boxed for Facebook, which is kind of interesting. I got penalty box. I'm not on Facebook, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'll sign up for it. I've got a couple of things I want to do, people I want to try to find before too much longer. And I got put in the penalty box. I just trying to sign up, Terry.
Oh my Lord! Just trying to sign up, you got put in there.
Yeah, my reputation precedes me, I guess. I don't know.
It does. Yeah.
And I think that I'm quite mild in the lone place that I'm on Twitter. Anyway, number 5 for Luis Zambrano. He likes BD Saints, excuse me. My pick 4 looks like this: 2, 6, 8, 3, 4, 2, 4, 5, 8, 1, 4, 6, and 9. 3 races to go. That puts us into race number 8. There are only 4 horses in this race, Terry, but they're all going to get some part of the prize. But what is the prize?
It's a 1.1 miles. It's an optional claiming race, $80,000 if you elect to put your horse in there to be claimed. Purse $120,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won $20,000 3 times other than maiden claimant starter or state bred allowance, or which have never won 4 races, or which have not won $45,000 in 2024, or optional claim price of $80,000. Oof.
But it's probably going to be quicker to talk about the 4 horses than to read about the conditions. But so far in the races, 40% of them have gone wire to wire. So that's a pretty big number right there, Terry. I don't really feel like the post positions matter a whole lot and only a 4-horse field. So maybe what we do is we just order them fastest to slowest, and that's how they'll finish, Terry. And if that's the case, who's the fastest?
Well, the fastest in here is that 1 horse. You can see there. So it should get to that quarter pole first. The 5 has an overlay from even money to 92. The 5 also has the only par plus number, and the all of them have C zones, and the 4 has a nice 30%, followed up by the 5 on the Q30.
Yeah, so they're all going to. It looks like the 1 gets to the lead right there, but it's a 4-horse field, so who knows? I know what Steven Fielder says in 5-horse fields, you take the longest shot on the board. I wonder if that rule applies to 4-horse fields. Is anybody going to get an in-race advantage? Really, no, because you got EPs and PCs, so all of these horses can win with different kind of running styles. So if you're looking for the fast horse, Terry, then indeed you want to look at the Nimitz class, the 4-horse, the longest shot on the board. Maybe that one gets to the front and steals this one, Terry. Makes good on that Steven Fielder angle. Cookie Creek, if you want the late speed, and it's got a lot more late speed than everybody else. They almost reverse order from the beginning of the race to the end of the race, and maybe there'll just be a 4-way dead heat today. Looking at your top total pace horse, it is Cook Creek, a few points better than Tabagaush, who knows? Nimitz class, those 2 tie up in there. So the question is, do you want a little more early speed, a little bit more late speed? And Olympic Dreams, way back. That one's 12 points off the other 4, Terry. So can you put an X through the 1 and just maybe pick from the other 3?
Maybe, but I like the 3 as my top pick, Cook Creek. Actually, it was going to be my pick of the day, but then when they scratched a couple of horses, I thought, well, it's going to be going off at really low odds, so I changed to another horse. But he has won 2 races in a row and is going for a hat trick, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 5 is my second choice. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. He finished third in his last race, and he has a good workout on August 10th. I like the one Olympic Dreams as my third choice. Drops in class today, could improve while returning to the dirt, and he switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the 4 Nimitz class as my long shot. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the races when bringing a horse back from a 90-plus day break. And he has early running speed style, which will help his chances.
So I'm going to go with the 3 too. I think just the way this race shapes up in my mind, you have the 4 and the 1 maybe go out to the front, and then the 5 horse giving chase 3 wide, and then the 3 horse just kind of sitting wherever it wants, just staying close enough. And then when it comes around the corner, tap, tap, those elite late jets come on, and bye-bye, Cook Creek. Nimitz class, I think this one could be the one that tries to set the pace, Terry, and go wire to wire. It's going to make its first start at Saratoga, and if you look through the workouts down there, all of a sudden that horse is lit up. Bullet, 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 bullet. Maybe he likes that dirt. Number 1, Olympic Dreams, drops from a grade 2 race, Terry. This is the proper distance for Olympic Dreams. 8 races, 4 wins, a third. Just 2 wins and 9 races at any other length. So a horse for the 1 1/8 mile course. And then finally, Tab Gauche. Somebody has to be fourth. The 4 picks in here, Terry. Could win, too, if he steals an easy lead. And then, interestingly, Manny Franco and Brad Cox, they don't team up very often. They've done it a dozen times. In 5 of those times, Terry, they ended up in
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. So maybe any of these. This is probably an all leg. 5 minutes to the second race. We will for sure get through race number 9, maybe race number 10. What's the opening leg of the late double look like?
A mile and 16th inner turf, maiden $90,000 purse. It's for maidens, 3-year-olds and upward, full to New York State and approved by the New York State Registry.
A mile and a 16th on the inner turf. We'll see one a little bit earlier on the card, but just in case. Closers, they get the job done. Still 3 out of 19 have gone gate to wire. A rail bonus for Tamakan. 2 and 3, they get absolutely demolished. 4 through 7 fair. 8 and out is also a bonus, but not as good as the rail. Tactical speed is useful. Front end speed might not be the best thing, Terry. If you're looking for front end speed, looks like there's one that has a lot of it.
Yep, New York Scrappy has the most speed. That's 7 horse, and that 1 is the only thing comes close to that. The 2 has an overlay from about 8-5, 15-1. That's nice. And
Big.
The 4, 4 has an overlay from 18.5 to 1 to 20 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from almost 3-1 to 8-1. And I don't see any other overlays. 6 and the 2 show par plus numbers, and 7 has the way higher C zone than anybody else in there.
New York Scrappy going to get out on that lead and going to enjoy it out there. Is that what the race shape tells us too? Nah, it looks, well, maybe. It looks like the 6 horse is the one that's been within 5 lengths of the leader, way out there on the left by itself. A lot of times those horses do manage to find their way to the winner's circle. These group right here wants to close. The 1, the 5, the 1, the 3, and the 7, so far those have not been within 5 lengths of the winners. The 5 horse is making a first-time start. I'm skeptical on the 12 because it is a MTO entry. Right now, it's kind of sunny there. Early on, New York Scrappy is a little bit quicker than the 6. The 6 wants the lead, but he's got some work to do because there's a lot of them that are a little bit faster. Could get discouraged if he gets forward, but not to the front. Look, the end of the race, the horses that won't be discouraged by people being in front of them are DC's boys, Wind Dancers, Charles J., Ferris Mueller's Day Off. And then our top total pace horses, you got Charles J., Wind Dancer, Tomakan, New York Scrappy as your top 4. Although Charles J. is 8 points clear of anybody else, that's typically enough to really consider putting that one at the top of your picks. Terry, who tops your picks?
I like the 6, Kid Kresha. Finished second in his last race, only losing by a nose. He has a high percentage winning jockey. Amplitude, the 5 is my second choice. His first-time starter, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then 7, New York Scrappy, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Third choice, my long shot, is the 8, Charles J. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 37% who wins 37% of the maiden special weight races that he has a horse running in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets here for me.
I think this is the race where you have the best chance to make most money on bets because anything can happen. I'm going to go with a long shot here. Caesar's Ghost up top. That big overlay in there, Terry. Last time out, they talk about trainer intent. I think the last time out, the trainer's intent was this race today because they ran this horse at 1.5 miles and he just busted ass as long as he could and then faded at the end. Cutting back today to 1.16 miles, I think could be a difference maker. And this horse is moving up the speed ladder. Amplitude, that is the 5 horse. That's next for me. First timer versus a bunch that have not come close to sniffing par for this level. Number 8, Charles J. is that top total pace horse. 8 points clear of all of the other experienced horses in here. And what I find interesting about this horse is its 2 best efforts, and clearly its best efforts, were its debut. So that's one form of a first start after a layoff. And the only other time that the horse came back after some rest. Today, the horse is coming back from some rest, so I expect one of its better efforts. And then Ferris Mueller, the 4 horse, another bomb for me, Terry. Only it made one other second start after a layoff, and that time that horse made ginormous gains. So if he can have a similar pop today that he showed the only other time he made it 2 races in a row, that horse would be a very strong shot to win at a big price. I'm going to go a 50-cent trifecta, 258 with the 2458. I'm going to change this around a little bit, Terry. I'm going to still spend the same amount of money, but I'm going to throw that 4 horse in there just in case he surprises at 20-1. And I'm going to take him out of the middle, which you know what that means, right, Terry?
Yeah, he's going to run second.
Absolutely, 1,000% bet that horse to show. Place, because he's going to definitely run second. I feel like this is the best betting race of the day, and if I happen to hit this one with bombs in there across the board, could be a big payday. All right, so I made the change, folks, so you know that means you have to bet the 4 to win. To finish second. It's absolutely going to happen. Let's look and see. And, of course, there are no guarantees, right? So they're still making their way, Terry. Let's try to run through the last race of the day as fast as we can.
Okay, so this last race is 5.5 furlongs on the turf allowance race, $110,000 purse for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won $20,000 other than maiden, claiming starter, or state bred allowance, or which have never won 2 races.
All right, so at 5.5 furlongs on the turf, you do find that Tactical Speed does great, although 1 out of 4 wins wire to wire. A rail bonus for Daughter of Time, 2 through 7 play below par, 8 announced the best. Show me some speed on the inside or outside, Terry, in the last race.
All right, so there's speed on the inside. Looks like that 1 and 2 show the most speed. So it's maybe going to be head-to-head to the finish line, or at least to the quarter pole. The 1 shows an overlay from 5-1 to 12-1. The 13 shows an overlay from 3-5, 2-5 to 2-1. And the 13 and 1 show the only par plus numbers. All but the 6 shows the C zones.
Yeah, they're loading for the second race. So we'll talk about the race shape, and then we'll see if we have time. But look at all these horses want to be forward. Boy, that really sets up nicely for the 4 or the 1 to close. Again, the 13 and the 14, these are MTO entries. I don't think you'll see them running unless it starts to rain. The 2 horse, Reconcile, Parola Secura, fastest horses on the, well, the 3 horses on the inside are your fastest. So I wouldn't be surprised to see one of them take the lead early on. Got a bunch of them that have similar late speed. Heaven Rules, well, you got to give that one the edge because indeed Heaven does rule. And then looking at our top total pace horses, you got to kind of maybe draw a line through the 13. So you got the 6, the 9, the 3, and the 4. Those are your top 4 total pace horses, notwithstanding the MTO, Terry. I don't think we're going to have time to get through our picks. We'll come back to that after we talk about what happens in race number 2, where the 3 horses that were number 2 of one variety, another, are your favorites. I tossed them out of my pick 4. Let's go. Anybody but a 2. We're an X, we're a B.
I'm hoping that 3 beats the 2.
And off to the races they go. The 5 horse darting out to the lead, followed by the 7 horse in there in second place. I think we both want the 5 horse to take that from wire to wire there, Terry, at 13-1 would be a great way to start a pick 4. All those 2 horses are bunched up in the middle. They're kind of battling off of each other. So it'll be interesting to see if any of them find their way up to the front there. 5 horse continues to set the tone. That one's 13-1. The 7 horse riding shotgun The one horse might be the one, Terry, that screws it all up for us, because that one is going wide, trying to make its way past everybody else. The gray, you know what they always say, Terry?
Yeah.
Bet the gray. The 7 horse has taken charge right now. Here comes one of those 2 horses. On the outside, though, is the 3 horse. He's making an effort right there. The 7 horse is digging in. We're going to need that 7 horse to get there, although the 1 horse is going to really mess it up, Terry.
That's right.
Scuttlebuzz beats us both sides, Terry.
Yeah.
What do we miss on Scuttlebuzz in race number 2?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, we didn't really miss anything. He's the 1 horse right there. He did drop in class. I mean, he is a horse that hit par, was off for more than a year, was running at a higher level, and just really didn't do much in that first race. August 1st, didn't get a workout in between. Honestly, I mean, you do look that the horse did run against some high caliber stuff back in here, right? In all these graded races. They're kind of hard to back him off of that debut effort following more than a year off and no workout in between. But you see the class did shine right there at the end, beating that 7 horse, and then the 2X, and then the 3.
Yeah. Actually, in this race here, the 10 horse was scratched, and so I had put the 1 in there as my I can't change it now, but you'll see that the 10 was scratched in this race, and I had put the 1 in there as my second alternate. So, oh well.
All right, what are you going to do? All right, so off to our picks for race number 10. Hopefully, no mistakes there.
That's right. So let's go ahead and do this race 10, and we already talked about all the information. You can go ahead and I guess let me go ahead and talk about what I like.
Mm-hmm.
In here is my pick of the day, and I'm going for a hat trick. So I won the last 2 days. I won the pick of the day, and I'm going to go with the 4 here, Strictly Taboo. She's won 2 races in a row and is now going for a hat trick, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then the 10, Risk Threshold, is my second choice. She won her last race at Aqueduct, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then the 6, Heaven Rules, is my third choice. She has finished in the money in 3 out of 4 career races, winning 1 of the starts, and has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 9, Riley Jean, is my long shot, finishing the money in the last 3 starts, winning 2 of those races. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet $6 to win on the number 4 horse. And then I'm going to bet a $2 exacta 4 on top with the 6, 9, 10. And then a trifecta key, 50-cent trifecta key, using the 4 as a key with the 1, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Okay.
All that adds up to $24. All right. That's a lot of exposure for $14. Yeah.
Yeah, 14. Yeah. So.
All right. So you got 6 to win. That's 6. You got $2 exacta.
That's 6. It's 12.
And this 4 over the 1, 5, 6, 9, 10 over the 1, 5, 6, 9, 10 is only $2.
Oh no! I guess I screwed up. Oh well.
I was going to say, let's roll with it, Terry, because once it's in there,
let's change the win to. Let's just take out the.
No, we'll leave it be, Terry. I mean,
okay.
Because you know what they say, the ones that always win are the ones that you put in your pocket, right? Or
that
you change. So we don't want to do that. All right. I was just thinking, wow, if that's what that costs, I'm going to change my betting strategy on exactas.
No,
trifectas.
For some reason, I screwed up this morning. So
yeah, no, it happens. I do it all the time. I'm always getting emails. You're 50 cents over budget,
yeah.
And then a sound effect of a ruler over the knuckles. I'm going to start where you left off. The 9 horse Riley Jean just ran at this level last time out and just missed. So any more improvement today in Riley Jean doesn't just miss. Number 4, Strictly Taboo. We talked about all of these horses in front of it want to show speed. That one should get absolutely a wonderful trip today as the lone C. Number 6, Heaven Rules. Indeed, Heaven does rule. It's the end goal for all of us today. Not a fan of the Presque Isle Downs track riser at all, but does secure one of the top jockeys, Jose Ortiz. Maybe a little phone call that this one can handle it. The all-weather record, 4 out of 4 in the money at Presque Isle Downs, suggests that the horse should like the turf surface. And then Daughter of Time. my final choice for today. Always close at the end. This one's making the third start off the layoff for the first time in its short career. So I'm taking it that horse is very healthy. It is an overlay. Got a good chance to be forward, Terry, and comfortable with it. Maybe fades off to a third or fourth place finish at the end. That's it for this week, Terry. All of the first couple of races are in the books. I think who won that first race, Terry? I forget already.
The 5-horse Manhattan Twist, the 3 ran second. And the second race, the 1 won. And the 1 was the morning line 9-2 and went off at 17-1. So
yes, indeed. And again, there were reasons to back that one horse. It did. I mean, it was just tough off that race right here.
Yeah.
But you did see the last time it did have a stinky race. It did rebound a little bit, but was off for more than a year. Really didn't perform very well. Turf racing is not a bad place for that horse to be. It ran on August the 1st. It did not have a workout coming back. What is that? 14 days later, 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to back. I mean, there was really no clue that it was going to go back and find this form again. So sometimes when you're gambling, you lose.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I didn't change it in my thing, but when they scratched that 10 horse, I use this as my first alternate. And I'll give you one of the reasons is because it was, it had been running in grade 3s, but it also was 9-2 in the morning line. So it I had to do it really quick, and that's why I didn't get it changed on pick 4. But
all right, well, maybe next time we'll have that when Terry and I come back for Parks, which is opening back up on Monday which is kind of an irony, Terry, because I was just out in Pennsylvania and I told Sean, let's go out to Parks on Monday. I'll stay an extra day.
Yeah.
And he's like, great. And then he texts me back and he's LOL. You're going to come out and Parks, which runs 49 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
The 3 weeks that are not going to be open, you're going to be here. So sooner or later, we're going to find our way out there. I'm going to go out back to Pennsylvania again. And there's a golf course out there called Mount Airy Lodge. If you'd like to play golf and you're ever in that northeast part of Pennsylvania where Interstate 80 crosses over from Pennsylvania to New Jersey in the Delaware Water Gap, maybe about 10 miles or so before that, there's a Mount Airy Lodge. They took 18 holes according to Golf Digest, which are the best 18 holes in the country, not many years ago. It may not be the same rankings today. It created a course out of it. From driving by, it looks absolutely beautiful. Talk to people who've played it. They say it is tremendous. So if you're a golfer, you're ever out that neck of the woods, maybe give it a whirl. Let me know what you think. Hopefully, I'll tell you what I think tomorrow about some foreign racing. I don't know. I haven't heard from Tom other than he sent us an article, Terry and I, about how a 4-horse field, they screwed up the finish order somehow.
Yeah, and that reminded me of back when I was like 21, 22 years old. I was at Bay Meadows and playing quarter horses. And Roulette Brown, the 3-horse in the last race, was my pick. And I had bet 20 to win, 20 win, 20 place, which was a lot of money for me back then. Well, what happened was that the 1-horse beat my horse by like a head, but they put my horse up as being the winner and the other one as being second. And then all of a sudden they went official. Well, they can't change it once they've done, except for the purse. And the next day in the paper, they were all talking about how bad that was. Well, it paid 11 something. So I made pretty good money and I was like shocked.
Yeah, I don't have such fortune. I would have had the other horse than one for sure. Yeah. That would have been the call for me. I shouldn't speak that into existence. In any case, we'll be back on Monday. Until then, Terry, any final words of wisdom from you?
Yeah, just have a great weekend for everybody and be safe and give your loved ones hugs and kisses. Tell them how you feel about them, especially if you love them. And just have a great rest of the day.
Again, if you want some free picks at Canterbury Downs, a link in the description for guaranteed tip sheet. You'll find a recap of the show over at horseracingtoday.net. Link down in the description as well. And then, of course, while you're there, hit that HRT gear, get yourself a wonderful lucky number 13, or match up the color of your eyes like Terry has with our gear. 15% off, 5 days to take advantage of that and help the show. In just a few minutes, I'll also post a timestamp for every race in the description at YouTube. Till we get back together again tomorrow, whether that's Foreign Friday or it's next Monday for Money Monday back at Parks with Terry and Rich. We certainly hope that you treat each other with great kindness and that all of your life endeavors, goals, and dreams are filled with God's favor and God's grace, and that everything ends up right where we want it to be.
The winner's circle.
Indeed. Thank you. And have a great, great, terrific Terry Thursday.